Welcome. In this demonstration video, you will learn how to prepare and e-file an inventory in your guardianship action in New Hampshire. Once you have logged in, select New Hampshire as your jurisdiction. And indicate you want to file into an existing case. From here, select where you want to file and the location. We'll be filing in the 4th Circuit, Belknap County, and the Probate Division, Laconia. Click Next. Read the notice at the top of this page. If you have a safety concern and want to request an exception to the court's mandatory electronic filing rule, click here. This will open the court's instruction sheet. Follow the instructions for filing a request for exception and do not proceed with e-filing. If you are proceeding with e-filing, enter your case number and click Next. The court will see if it finds your case number, and when it does, it will appear here. Click on the case number to continue. Introduction. This will bring you to the introduction to the interview process. Read the information, and if you would like more information about the process, click here. When you've finished reading the instructions, click Close. If at any time you need additional information, you can select any of the frequently asked questions on the right and click on them to get the answers. Again, once you've finished reading the information, click Close. Now click Next, and you're brought to the Who is Filing page. Indicate who you are by selecting yourself from the list. Note that questions marked with an asterisk are mandatory. If you click Next without answering the question, you will get an error message. Of course, you can always add or amend your answer in this case. Questions without an asterisk are optional. If your name is not listed, you will not be able to add yourself during this process. You should file your request on paper with the court. However, in this scenario, you will select Leo Lee and then click Next. What would you like to file? Select File an Inventory and click Next to continue. This will automatically take you to the Filing Details section. Contacts information. Check to make sure that your email and address are current. If you would like to update this information, check the box or boxes and enter your new information into the fields that automatically open. You may provide a telephone number, but it is not mandatory. There is no asterisk. Click Next. Type of inventory. Indicate whether you are filing an original inventory or an amended one if you have already filed an original inventory and need to make changes to it. The inventories are different documents and different forms will be generated depending on what you choose. You will need to provide an explanation if you are filing an amended inventory. If you want additional information on how to prepare an inventory, click here. We're going to file an original inventory and click Next to continue. Bond amount. Enter the bond amount ordered. We will use $500 for our example, and then again click Next to continue. Cash on hand. Enter the information requested and click Next. Real estate. Answer whether the ward owns real estate. If he or she does not own real estate, answer No and click Next to continue. In our case, we will click Yes to show the additional questions. Click Next. Real estate details for Parcel 1. Check where the property is located and enter the address. and recording information, and enter the value of the ward's portion of this real estate as of the date of your appointment as guardian. For example, if the real estate is worth $200,000, but the ward is only a 50% owner of this real estate, enter the value of the ward's actual share, which is $100,000. If the ward owns additional real estate, check this box, and this screen will repeat to allow you to enter this information. Once you have finished, click Next. Household Furnishings and Effects. Answer whether the ward owns household furnishings and effects. In our case, we will click Yes to show the additional questions, and then click Next. Household Furnishings and Effects. Enter a description for each item of household furnishings and effects and the value of the ward's portion of this item as of the date of your appointment. Since you've indicated in the previous screen that the ward does own household furnishings and effects, you are required to list at least one item here. You may list up to 5 items on this screen, and you can then check the box at the bottom if you have additional items to list, and click Next to continue. Other tangible personal property. Answer whether the ward owns other tangible personal property such as vehicles, farmers' utensils, mechanics' tools, or livestock. Again, we will click Yes to show the additional questions and then click Next. Answer the questions for the first item of personal property. If you indicate that the item is a vehicle, vehicle description questions will appear. The item in our case is not a vehicle, so a description window has now appeared and the description is required. So let's describe this item, brown milking cow, and enter the value of the ward's interest at the date of the guardian's appointment. Again, you may check the box if you need to add additional items, and then click Next. Stocks and bonds. Enter the requested information for each stock or bond owned by the ward. You will need to know the name of the stock or bond, the number of shares owned, and the value of the ward's portion per share as of the date of your appointment. Again, check the box at the bottom of the screen if you have additional items to list. Click Next when you're ready to continue. Deposited in banks and financial institutions. Answer whether the ward owns assets and deposited in banks or financial institutions. As before, we will click Yes to show the additional questions and then click Next. Enter the requested information for each deposited asset owned by the ward. You will need to know the name of the bank or financial institution and its address. If you need to look up the zip code, you can use this link. You also need to enter the last 4 digits of the account or certificate number and the ward's portion of the account balance as of the date of your appointment as guardian. Check this first box if you need to list additional accounts at this institution. We've listed account 1 and now fields for account number 2 appear. Check this second box if you need to list accounts at another institution, and a new screen will appear to allow you to do this. Click Next when you're ready to continue. Business assets. Answer whether the ward owns any business assets. We will click Yes and then click Next. These questions are the same as the questions on the other personal property screen. Answer the questions for the first item of business assets. We've chosen a vehicle this time, and we go through the vehicle description questions. You will need to enter the year, make, model, and vehicle identification number, and the value of the ward's portion of the item at the date of your appointment as guardian. you may check the box if you need to list additional items, and then click Next when you're ready to continue. Debts owed to the ward. Answer whether anyone owes the ward any money. We've said yes, and click Next. Enter the requested information for the debt owed to the ward. Note that only notes receivable and other debts with written evidence should be listed. You will need to know the name of the debtor or payer, the name, the amount of the ward's interest in the debt as of the date of your appointment, and the date of the note. Enter the payment terms, and again, a description of one debt item is required based on your answer that someone does owe the ward money. So if there is an additional debt, it should be entered as item 2. Check the box at the bottom of the screen if you have additional items to list, and click Next to continue. Other miscellaneous personal property. Answer whether the ward owns other personal property which was not listed previously. Again, we will click Yes to show the additional questions, and then click Next. Describe the first item of personal property. Now enter the value of the ward's interest at the time of the guardian's appointment. You may describe one more item on this screen. If you need to list additional items, you may check the box at the bottom and click Next to continue. Inventory value determination. Check the boxes that indicate how the value of the inventory was determined. You may check multiple boxes. If you check Other Source, a text field appears where you'll need to provide an explanation. Click Next to continue and move automatically into the next section, Additional Requests. Additional fees. If you have not received an invoice and notice from the court to pay an additional fee, such as a default fee, for example, click No, and then click Next to continue. However, if you have received an invoice and notice from the court to pay an additional fee, you may check Yes to pay it with this filing, or No to pay it separately. If you choose Yes, select the type of fee or fees that's due by checking the appropriate boxes. Note that if you are paying the additional fee with this filing, you will have to attach a copy of the invoice to this filing at the end of the program. When you're ready, click Next to proceed. Copies to other parties. You must serve copies of all documents filed with the court to the other parties in your case or to their attorneys, if they are represented. Check the parties to whom a copy of this filing will be delivered. If you see your own name on this list, do not check it. You may be listed twice if, for example, you play a dual role, such as both the petitioner and the guardian in the case. If another name is listed twice, you only need to check that name once. Click Next to proceed. Delivery options. For each person listed, select the correct e-service contact or email. Only parties without a listed e-service contact may be served by U.S. mail or hand delivery. Click Next to proceed. Petitioner's verification. Now you must verify under penalty of perjury that the information you have provided is true and accurate and in good faith. Check the box to agree and click Next to continue. Additional Requests Section Review. Here you have an opportunity to review your answers at a glance and correct any errors. Everything looks in order, so click Next. Final Review. Even though you haven't completed your application yet, the final review tells you that everything is good to go. Click Next to continue. TurboCourt will now automatically generate your forms for you. You now have a completed form set. and that form set is given a unique TurboCourt form set number. And you can view the forms by simply clicking the View link. Here we see the inventory of the fiduciary. TurboCourt has also generated the court's what to expect after you file an inventory, which you should read. Click View. And when you're finished, you can close this form. You can also print it. If you need to make any changes, you can always click Review and edit your answers. On the left, this shows your estimated filing fee. The actual filing fee will be determined by the court. Now let's scroll down and look at your documents. Anytime you see this icon with a red exclamation point, this tells you that this is a required document. If you see an attachment icon with a blue question mark, you can attach optional documents. This yellow asterisk icon means you can attach additional documents, up to 15 if any are mentioned. Here we check that there is an additional fee for default, and the invoice is a required attachment. It appears with a red asterisk icon. To attach your invoice, click the Attach link. You only need to attach one document to this form set and it has been pre-selected, the invoice for default. If, however, more than one document is required, you would need to select the type of document you're attaching. Now provide a name and select your file. Click Save, and TurboCourt will process that, making sure it's a valid PDF file. And there's your attached document. To attach additional documents, click Attach, select the document category. We'll select Other. Now select your document type. We'll select Other once again. Provide a name. And select your file. Click Save, and TurboCourt will make sure that this is a valid PDF. And here is your additional document. Click Next, and you can review your notification options that you selected during registration. You can also indicate the email addresses of other people that you also want to receive courtesy notifications. These are the notifications of the status of the filing as the court processes it. Otherwise, you can leave this field blank. Click Next. And lastly, you indicate your payment option. If you have previously filed through TurboCourt and stored a credit card with them, you can select that credit card. You can also pay with a new credit card or pay at the court. Click on the information icon for instructions on how to do that. When you finish reading, click Close Window. If you choose Pay at Court, note that your form set is not considered filed until the court has your payment, and if payment is not received within 5 days, the form set will be deleted. Now read the user agreement by clicking here. Check the box that you agree to the terms and conditions, and provide your name for the e-filing. Click the e-file button to electronically submit your filing. I forgot to indicate which method of payment I'm choosing, so I select my choice, make sure the remaining fields are filled, and now I click e-file. You now have TurboCourt form set number 39441, which was sent to the court, and instead of being completed, it is now filing pending. Once the court processes that, it will change to delivered, and then change to accepted after it is accepted by the court. There, it is changed from filing pending to delivered. And again, once the court accepts it, the status will change to accepted. You can look at any messages that are automatically being sent to you by the court through TurboCourt. Click the Messages tab, and we can see our first message. I can mark this as being read, and I'm done. Now I'm simply waiting for the court to finish processing my filing. Congratulations.